Hey, welcome back, everybody. It's Wednesday, hump day, which means it's time for Boob Tube. But of course, it's not Boob Tube without my lovely co hosts, Desiree and Casey. Hello, ladies. Welcome back.
Hi.
Hey. Somebody beat Jason
I
to the
know.
comments.
Can you believe it? All right, Big Brother Kev. We see you. We
As
see
What
soon as we
up?
went live,
you.
Jason, you got to get that trigger finger. Got to work it out.
Oh, okay.
um, Happy April Fools.
I know
April Fools.
I
Ooh.
I
that.
posted something on Twitter and I did not expect as much of a response as I received. Would you like me to share with you what that tweet was?
What was your
Yeah,
tweet?
do it. I want to hear it.
My tweet is big announcement. I am returning from retirement to film stuff.
Adult.
Some stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, some adult content with other people, if you know what
Hmm.
I mean.
Hmm.
And it says, "Who should I shoot with first? Drop their at down below." And
Okay.
my fans are going ballistic. In fact, some of them even said, "I hope this isn't an April Fool's joke." If you're watching BoobTube, I hate to break it to you, but it is April Fool's. I am
April
not.
Fools.
I
I
should have.
am not going to
I
be
you,
participating in those things.
and you know what? I've wondered what would have happened if I had done that because, like, I don't
Mm.
even have a
It's not too
background.
late.
Yeah, it is for me to but I don't even
It's
have a
not too late to
background.
post it, I'm saying.
Yeah, well, no, you're right. It's not too late to post it, but I've also been told it's not too late to whatever. But okay, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And the
Yes.
crazy thing
Hello,
is
Desiree.
I think it's kind of funny, but at the same time, I'm thinking to myself, this is how far outside of my wheelhouse that is. It wouldn't even occurred to me to do that as an April Fool's joke. But anyway.
Well, I saw somebody else's tweet that was like, special announcement, everything's going to be free from now on. Rent paid by energy. Basic, that was the tweet along the lines of like everything's just going to be free because I manifest and,
Mm.
blah blah blah. And
Mm,
so at first I was like, "Oh, wow, that's bold. Dang. You've made that much money that you can just live off of." And then it dawned on me, today is April
April.
Fools. And then I was like, "Oh, that's a great one." And I was like, "Well, I can't really copy it cuz that's tacky." So I was like, "What could I say that will ruffle some feathers and engage a conversation with the fans?" And I hit that one on
You
the
got
head.
it.
So I found it. Ooh, look at all these new names in here.
Mhm.
Jersey Sun, Gallus, Big Brother Kev, and of course,
Actually, Jersey Sun that's one of our old friends.
is it?
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
Christopher, I think.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It just shows up different.
yeah.
No problem. Thank you.
Mhm.
Oh, I see it now. BBW Platinum. Yes. Hi, Christopher Gagliardi, I think it is.
Uh huh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome back. We're so
Yep.
glad you guys are here. So it's been an interesting week. Um, to, dive right into, well, first of all, it's a week away from Exotica Chicago.
Mhm.
Whoop,
And let me tell
whoop.
you, I don't know what happened, but somewhere I thought I had several weeks. And then yesterday, it hit me
Yeah.
that by this time next week, I will be
Me. Yeah.
driving to Chicago. And let me tell you why. The airport here in Baltimore is a 5 to 7 hour wait
It
to
has
get through
gotten better,
TSA.
hasn't it? It got better in
Damn,
Atlanta.
girl.
It's better in Atlanta. It's got to be better there.
It might be now, but
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
if I'd
no.
have booked my ticket now,
As of Monday. it started getting better. Literally, like night and day difference as of Monday. But if you haven't already gotten your ticket, don't bother.
No, I already booked the car and I'm packing up a bunch of stuff for my booth and I'm ready for this road trip. But my theory was if I'm going to wait 5 to 7 hours in line just to get through TSA, another couple of hours to get on the plane and then another couple hours for the flight, I could have been in Chicago already. So for me, it just made sense. And then we're going to have transportation while we're there instead of having to get an Uber. So it works. But yeah, it hit me yesterday that it's literally 2 weeks away. And I was like, holy smokes. 1 week away. See? My brain just does not want to accept that it is next week. Yeah. My brain is like, nope, you got 2 weeks. Don't worry. And if that's the case, then I won't end up being there because I'll be here like I still got another week to go.
I got one more week
watching social media, like people calling me, where you at? What do you mean? Oh. Nah, I got my little countdown. It now says 8 days, 7 days, 6 days. So yeah. Anyways, but what are we watching? I'll tell you what we're watching. The Paradise season MFN finale.
I have to take the time to watch. So if it's at the season finale, now's a good time to watch because then I can just watch it.
Yeah, it's season 2.
Right.
Did you see season 1?
I did.
Oh, then you need to see season 2. So what I really, really love, and I think I've mentioned this before, is I didn't think that there was going to be a life outside of the bunker, right? Because it started off in the bunker. And even though it went back to like life before the bunker, I just thought that everything was going to be like life in the bunker. Well, season 2 fuses life outside and life inside and really focuses on the outside and like the lives, and it's crazy. It's crazy and it's good. It's really, really good. So I highly recommend, 10 out of 10, please recommend to go and watch it. I'm from Chicago and I can't wait for Exotica. Do you have your tickets? Do you have your ticket already? I hope so. We need to see you there. We do. So, Casey.
Okay, what have you been watching? This ain't even the right sticky. Hold on.
Don't talk about sticky notes. When I was setting up to come on here,
no, I heard
I had
you.
a stack. A stack of sticky note pads, and like I picked it up like this, and then they just kind of, and then there was like sticky notes everywhere, and I was like,
okay. So I'm actually gonna go out of order a little bit, and this is thanks to Christopher. And I'm gonna give you my first. What are you watching? Is a little different, and it's kind of once in a lifetime. So one of the things that I watched today, was the Artemis 2 launch, which is the rocket shuttle, whatever you want to call it, that is going to orbit the moon. And that has not happened. I think it was since 1972 that they've been to the moon. Allegedly. Yep, I'm gonna go with that. Allegedly. But I have to. So the reason why, and it's so funny. Okay. So I lived in Florida for 10 years, lived in Central Florida for 10 years. And when you live in Central Florida, the Kennedy Space Center is off the coast of Port Canaveral, Cocoa Beach, whatever.
Cape Canaveral.
It is technically Central Florida. It's just East Coast, right? So you can see the shuttles when they would take off. And so we used to stand outside with the kids and watch the launches, whether they were during the day or in the evening. There were a few occasions where shuttles were coming back in and we'd go outside to catch the sonic boom. there was, my parents had a 4-story townhome, and on the 4th story was a patio area. So we used to go to the patio and stand on the patio and watch the launches from there, because it would give us more sky, because where our house was a bunch of trees, so you'd have to, like, find the right angle on the sky. But anyway, I just became obsessed with it because it was always so fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
I remember being in high school when the Challenger shuttle blew up. And it was a snow day that particular day. It was my boyfriend's birthday that particular day, and the shuttle blows up. Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. So I've kind of been obsessed with that launch stuff for a long time. Anyway, my daughter sends me a text and is like, Artemis 2 is about to launch. I didn't even know what she was talking about, but I immediately just plopped it into the Google and found it. And she was like, 10 minutes, right? So I sat there waiting for this thing to go off. I caught it just in time. And what I think, well, if you could have seen me in the moment, I ain't gonna tell you exactly what I was doing in the moment, but if you could have seen me in the moment, you'd have been laughing at me. But I was literally sitting there like, please, Jesus, let it go, 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 go. Yes, 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 yeah. Like I was every
Typing
stage.
it up.
Yeah, like every
Oh,
stage, I'm like, okay, let the boosters step, let the boosters hold. Okay, whoo, the boosters hold. Okay, let them eject. Okay, everything's good. Okay, whoo, everything's good. Like every phase of this, when they first
oh,
ignited the rockets, before it even lifted off the platform, I was dying, absolutely dying. Because all I could think was, please don't let this bitch blow up. Just
right?
let it get into orbit, let it do what it gotta do. And I couldn't believe how amped up, how excited I was to watch it. And it wasn't even like it was a long period of time. I think maybe 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes before they were like, okay, we're done, stop talking, we're not talking anymore, no much, nothing left to see here. um
What?
well, because
That's rude.
well, no, because honestly, there comes a point. I'm sorry, I have to adjust my clothing. There comes a point where there genuinely is nothing for the naked eye to see anymore.
Oh
Right.
So,
no.
You're just looking in the sky like,
right, you're looking at the residuals. You're not looking at it. So, but um, it is going to spend 24 hours going around the Earth, because apparently, if you know anything about space shuttles or shuttles and launches and whatever, and I'm not professing to be an expert, but I do know that, like, even when it takes off, you'll see it go straight up, and then you'll see it start to arc.
Okay.
That's because, there's a couple of things. A, the Earth is actually round. Imagine that. But it also arcs because it's got a trajectory it has to hit, right? So it is going to go around the Earth before it starts to make its way to
The
around the
moon.
moon, because that's what it's doing. It's just
Okay.
going to go around the moon. So now,
Gotcha.
if you all have ever watched um, Armageddon.
Mm-hmm.
In Armageddon, there's that moment where it goes, as they say, slingshots around the moon to come up behind the asteroid or whatever. Part of it is it also picks up momentum from doing all of that. So you have this roll around the Earth is supposed to help them create the right arc so that it can loop around the moon properly. Girl, you let me tell you, I didn't know this bitch was going up today, but in the little 10 or 15 minutes of me watching, I learned a whole lot of shit. I learned a whole lot, and was
That's
like,
epic.
now I'm gonna have to make sure I'm watching. And the crazy thing, so it is, okay. I've been to Kennedy Space Center, not when anything was launching, but I've been there and could see the platform and the tower and all of that. It is huge on the screen. It is huger, as if that's a word, live and in person. It
I
is
love that.
absolutely epic. And like, so the is across the water somewhere, and then the museum is over there on the other side of the beach. So like the platform, the launch platform is on one side, the museum's on the other side, and oh, even the museum. Oh, can you tell I'm a little geeked out over this? Oh my
I
god.
love it.
I
Yeah.
love Kennedy Space Center. If you ever get the chance to go, it is so freaking cool, especially
Yeah.
because they've got a space shuttle there. Okay, so wait. If you live in New York, tri-state area, the Intrepid Museum is shipped out on the water on the Hudson. The Intrepid has, and I want you to understand how freaking big the Intrepid is. It has on its platform, on that top layer, that top level, it has a space shuttle, it has a Concorde, and then it has several other planes on the top. Again, space shuttle, big as hell, huge, ginormous. A Concorde airplane. These two things are already sitting up there, and then all of these, man. All right, I'm gonna stop talking so I
Damn.
can calm down. But that's ooh,
Why
I
Casey? Why Casey got a movie? I mean, a shuttle Woody.
I love it.
You
I
would
love it
think
though.
you would think she was in a Prada store with a unlimited.
you
Like,
know what I'm saying?
I
Woo!
understand because I've always loved like air shows and space shuttles and just everything. Like automobiles and just everything. Like I'm fascinated by technology. I'm fascinated by our progression through space exploration and just aircrafts and all that kind of thing. So I understand, and I lived in Florida too, and so I've been to Cape Canaveral or Port Canaveral or Kennedy Space
All of
Center, and I
right, it's all
I
the
understand a million percent the excitement because it is so different to see it on screen than it is to see it in person, and
mm-hmm.
to just the energy, like you feel the energy of like the excitement, the fear, the overwhelming, like everything is so huge in comparison to what it looks like on TV.
Yep.
And to actually see a shuttle when I was there, I think I can't even begin to pretend to know, but there was a shuttle on the actual launch pad,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just such an experience. Such an experience. So I understand your excitement, your Woody.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
Okay.
been a long time, but
Oh.
and I've been on a carrier. So, little fun fact, I was married to a Navy guy, and so I got to go on the Enterprise, which is
Mhm.
actually the ship in the first Top Gun movie.
Okay.
So I
Ooh.
got to go on the Enterprise, and it is so massive. So when you talked about the Intrepid, like I literally remember being a family member and going, on the ship, and they gave us like a little short tour. Of course, there was a lot of things we couldn't see because it was
Yeah.
classified, but we got to see some of like the mess hall, and they call them the latrine, or forget the head. So like, yeah, like we got to see the bathrooms and different, small areas. But yeah, it was just like this huge, massive ship. And you have to think it's got like they have like aircrafts on board. They have like, it's just so crazy massive.
Yeah.
And then I lived in Jacksonville, Florida, which we had three Navy bases. We had Mayport, Cecil Field, and NAS Jax. And so Cecil Field didn't have any carriers because it wasn't on the water, but Mayport and NAS Jax did. And so there would be carriers there too. So multiple carriers, these huge, massive ships. So yeah, the
Mm-hmm.
liftoff rumbles could be felt miles away from them
Mm-hmm.
taking off. Yes, there were
Wow.
times. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say about this one in particular, the Artemis. They said that one, because it's so big, that the physical effects were that much more intense. They commented
Okay.
on the fact that you heard it like you heard it ignite, and then you felt the heat, and then you felt the rumble, like everything just shook.
Okay.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah. Super cool. What you got for us, Desiree?
I'm gonna go
Now
with
that you've
One
been to
Piece.
space,
One Piece
a
episode
bunker in
3.
space.
We're gonna talk about some schmanime, live action. So
Shmanime.
Anime,
schmanime.
schmanime, live action.
Just for rhyming. So episode 3 starts off. I'm still watching season 1, so I'm just on episode 3. Luffy and Nami and Kaya, they end up meeting this guy named Usopp, and Usopp introduces them in the hopes of helping them to secure passage to another place. Suspicion arises surrounding Kaya's butler. So Kaya was like the rich person. She was like in a wealthy family, and but she's sick, like she's terminal. So Usopp ends up meeting her, like knowing her. He brings the crew there. They end up talking to her. She's like, well, like, come on in. Let's have a grand dinner and a party and grand old time and this and that. So they end up having this big party, which is great. They end up eating, feasting, things like that. And then they end up having some tension arise because there's enemies that come and try and, make it not so fun. So Luffy is rising reputation, draws attention from Vice Admiral Garp, who is like one of the enemies, who's like, he's part of like the fish crew, but he's like an enemy guy. And then, and then it says it tests Kobe's loyalty to the Marines. So the Marines are like a different type of crew or class in the show as well. Like, so the pirates are like all for themselves, and then the Marines are trying to look for the treasure. Like the fish people are looking for the treasure. Like everybody's looking for this One Piece treasure, right? So yeah, it was really good. I enjoyed it.
So
Anime shmanime.
my coworker, I had told
Check it
her
out.
when the first season came out, I told her that I had watched it, and I think I watched it on her recommendation or whatever. But she told me that it's like one of the longest running anime. And so
Yeah, it
we were
is.
talking, and while you were talking,
Like
I googled it. It's got 1,155 episodes.
Yeah.
The anime. 1,155 episodes. Now let me just say this.
If you get through it, I'll be with you.
No, I'm not. Here's my question. How many episodes of Law and Order?
Oh, okay. That's a good comparison.
Because Law and Order's been on like
forever, ever. Yeah, I remember that too.
Okay, so we can all agree Law and Order's been on forever. Law and Order, let's see, has 25 seasons, it says. As of April 2026, the original Law and Order series has aired 538 episodes across 25 seasons. Wow. Put that in perspective to that 1,155 episodes.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
I believe it. I believe it.
Okay, so hold on. Let me just real quick. So our new friend Sci-Fi Man was talking about the size of the rockets, the ships, the shuttles, or whatever. And yeah, there was a lot of information that they gave regarding this ship, other ships, whatever. It's a lot. It's just, as we said, it's just massive, absolutely massive. But yeah, love it. And we got to stop talking about it. Otherwise, I'll be.
Casey's like, we can take the whole show and just talk about
I
the
was
Talk
shuttle.
yeah,
about yeah.
you
She
are
might as
lucky.
well send us up there, Casey.
I
I'll
was
go
gonna
with you.
say you're lucky.
I'm
I
down.
any
Send
of
me to
my
the moon.
paraphernalia from when I went. Um,
We'll have boob tube from the moon.
I love that. Our next
Oh.
episode of Boop Tube will be live from the moon.
and let me
Yeah.
tell you, all right,
What
so
time zone is
and
that?
then Kari, I'm a stop
I don't
talking
know.
about it. But my old job, the old company that I worked for, and I don't have it here, and I'm so mad I didn't think about it. The old company that I worked for took us to Kennedy Space Center, and I left there with a pen that has a space shuttle on it. Like
I used to have that.
you know how like pens
It
like
has the
this.
water thing and it goes up and
So
down.
oh no, this wasn't one of those.
Oh, okay. That's the one that I had. It had like
But
the little space shuttle inside, and like if you put it
yeah,
upside down, it would go
This
up and down.
literally right here on the pen
Oh, okay.
was a space shuttle attached to it.
Aw.
I also bought my son some freeze dried food because he was such a geek for all of that stuff. So anyway, okay,
Okay. There's a new series out, and it is on. Hold on. It is on Netflix, I believe,
they're all on
and
Netflix.
they're all on Netflix. I just saw the thing for Predator of Seville, so it's on my list. Oh, sorry.
You're good.
It's okay. Yeah.
You're good. Don't worry about
Okay.
it.
What do we call it when you give up the thing before you're supposed to?
At this
Spoiler?
point, nobody would know
Spoiler. Yeah.
if you hadn't
Spoiler.
said anything. If you had just kept going.
No, we're not. I haven't seen it. I just saw it on my thing and it was at the top, so I put it on my playlist. But what I want to talk about is a show called a series called The Madison. The Madison stars Michelle Pfeiffer and Kurt Russell, and they've been married for 30 plus years. They're super happy married. They for, 3 decades or 4 decades or however long. They've been married a long time and they're super rich. They live in New York and he goes fishing in Montana with his brother who has a cabin there. And at the very beginning of the series, he gets into a plane crash with his brother and passes away. And it's the story is of the family coming to the cabin to just, identify the body and figure out what they're going to do with all, with the cabin because it was co-owned by the brother and the husband. And it's showing you, so he wrote this book from the time that they bought the cabin, which was 20 years ago. He wrote this book that was basically a journal, but the journal also had like how to make coffee because this cabin doesn't have typical running water. Like the toilet is an outhouse. And so, and it's like a huge shocker for these, spoiled, they're grown children, like they're in their 40s and 30s, but they're used to this. The parents pay for their apartments and their houses, and like they want for nothing. They really don't have to do anything. And now they're out here in this cabin where the wife is, Michelle Pfeiffer is trying to learn about the husband that is no longer there. So she's mourning and grieving, but also learning that there was this like whole side of him that she's learning through this journal. And, they're out there trying to be, the kids are out there and the grandkids are out there trying to be supportive, but, they're going through their own little rifts and, who wants to really be out in the middle of nowhere? Because it's literally the middle of nowhere. And it's just an interesting show. For me, it helped me realize like how important it is to spend time with your family and, you know, how much you really don't know about people because we don't really think to ask. We think we know people, but oftentimes, we just think we know someone from 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago, and people change. Their goals change, their needs, their desires, things change. Or sometimes and what she experiences is that he kept asking her to come out there. And he was like, just come out there one time. You're going to love it. It's endless beauty. Like, it's such a serene place. And she refused to go because it didn't have a bathroom. And now she's like looking back, like, if I would have just came out here, this would have been something we could have experienced together. And this is a side of him that I would have known. Like, how can I be married to him for 30 years and not have known? You know what I mean? Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
just, it's really interesting watching how they had this wonderful relationship, even though there was this side of him that was super soft and like super simple, and like, it's just so interesting, and it really helps you, at least it helped me, put a grasp on like the importance of my family and developing relationships and maintaining those relationships, and like how life is so short. And in fact, funny story, well, not really funny, but like interesting, is that my family and I, we book either a Thanksgiving or a Christmas thing every year. And last year we did Christmas, but we did it in Jacksonville, Florida at the beach, which was really cool. But this year we wanted to do something a little bit more exciting for the grandkids, and that's like Disney. We were talking about renting a resort, or, getting a theme Airbnb, and then taking the kids for, you know, a week, and we just go do all the parks. But after watching this, I called my son and I was like, what if we just got a cabin and we did like horseback riding and fishing and like basic natural, like nature things that
Mm-hmm.
this show inspired? Because here we are thinking, let's go spend $10,000 at Disney, when I'm thinking, what if we just created moments and things that are more basic than that?
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't even about affordability for me. It was about like
The connect.
connecting with nature and
Right.
connecting with, like being able to ride a horse, like something that is so much more simple. And so, yeah, it, to me, the show was very emotional, and it was very, it was a lot. It had a lot to do with me, like thinking to myself, like, what is really important? What is like holding on to material things for what? Like, what is really important to me? So it helped me get into a more like grateful mind space,
Mm-hmm.
and appreciate my family and the people that are around me, because you just never know. You just never know.
Yep.
Good show. It's called The Madison. Michelle Pfeiffer, Kurt Russell. Amazing acting. Like, I haven't seen Michelle Pfeiffer in something in a long time, and it just reminded me why I really like her as an actress. So, yeah, really good. Check it out. Casey.
So, there is a program on Netflix. Kari already said it. There's a program on Netflix called The Predator of Seville, as in Spain. And I'll be honest, I I popped it on just for shits and giggles, and it actually is quite interesting. So, The Predator of Seville has this is narrated by these women who were um, going to college in Spain, and there was a travel agency run by this guy named Manuel White, or Manu White, Manuel Blanco, whatever. And he like had this, it was college oriented, and he had this affection for American college girls. And the first girl who tells her story ends up talking about how she was hanging out. She wanted to go to Morocco, and that was one of their excursions. They did this. They were in a hotel room while they were out, and he's like, "Hey, you want to party? You want to do whatever?" Long story short, she wakes up the next day feeling like something happened, and she can't recall the what happened, just that she felt icky, like she just she did um and so she ultimately goes back to wherever she's staying in Spain, and then goes back home. And while she's home, she has the full realization of what she believes she experienced at the hand of this guy. So she started kind of doing some research, doing some whatever. Long story short, turns out this dude had been raping, assaulting, all kinds of things to all of these women who had gone to Spain to study abroad. And we're talking, I think so far I've seen 1.5 episodes. The one that went back the furthest was like 2009. Yeah,
Wow.
2009. And so what happened was is the girl Gabrielle is her name, the first one. She went on and did an interview with Megan Kelly and told her story, and that triggered a series of stories, triggered connections to other girls who had similar memories, where they went on the excursion, they met Manu, and had a moment where they could not remember what happened. And here's what's so interesting is he's a handsome guy, very charming, um but he also, based on what they all said, was probably in his 40s when they met him, or he looked like he was, much older. um and he definitely, based on the story they told, was a predator. Like that
Mm,
that title is no exaggeration. He would have sangria parties at his house, and just basically would pour, there would be like an endless supply, not at his house, sorry, at the business, endless supply of sangria. He knew all the hot spots for college students, especially the American college students.
mm,
um
mm, mm,
and so, long story short, it is absolutely scary, the idea that and this is Gabrielle was saying, not only were all these stories about this man coming out and how he had assaulted all these women, but he was not in custody. Like, he was still roaming free, still bouncing from club to club. He was aware that there had been a news story about him, but he was still out and about, and it was no big deal. And the girl Gabrielle was like, "Oh hell no, y'all gonna arrest this bitch. There's no way
mm,
it's gonna be public that this has happened. There's no way you're gonna have all these women say, yeah, happened to me," and he's
mm.
roaming free. So, like I said, I am 1.5 episodes in. One of
Wow.
the things, and this is going to sound, I don't know, I'm not going to say it's going to sound bad, but it's going to sound very interesting. Thank you, sci-fi. Count Dracula was charming too. Very much so. But the girl Gabrielle, okay, so most of the time when you have someone telling their story, especially something as devastating as this, the person is, somewhat subdued, somewhat well mannered, for lack of a better way of putting it. I don't know exactly where. I can't remember. I think the girl Gabrielle, I think she's from Florida. When I tell you, this chick cuss like a sailor. Cuss like a sailor. Every time they talk to her, like, there was one moment in her interview where she had like 3 sentences. Each sentence had a cuss word in it. And I don't know why. I was so giddy because all I kept thinking was, is, oh my God, I love her. I love the fact that and
I was
granted,
just
it's,
about to say I love that.
I'm like, I get it. It's Netflix and you can say whatever you want to say. But like I said, most of the time these people hold their composure. She cusses nonstop. She don't even apologize for cussing. Like, she cussed like she was supposed to cuss. Like, that right there, that spot, that's where you put fucker. That spot right there, that's where you put son of a bitch. Like, ooh, I love. And I think, to be perfectly honest with y'all, part of why I think I'm still watching it, the story is fascinating. Yes, I'm irritated because so much of it is in Spanish. That means I got to actually be looking at the TV because I don't speak Spanish and I got to watch the subtitles. But I love her. I love, she's an absolute spitfire, as they say. She's fucking amazing. And you get you from her energy and the whole, the way she cusses, you get why she ultimately does get him brought to court. Now, that's where I'm at. I'm up to the moment where they're in court, and this is in Spain. So she's speaking in Spanish to tell her story. But man, that's a, yeah, you gotta check it out. You gotta check it out.
Woof. Careful. You know what? Now that you bring that up, I don't know if I shared that I watched the Amanda. What was the story about the girl that got arrested and spent time in Italy, and then they found out that she wasn't the
I
that
can't,
allegedly killed her roommate,
yeah,
and they
I'm
found
gonna,
out later that she was raped and killed by some random person that broke into their apartment.
Mm.
I'm trying to think of what it was.
yeah, I can't, because
American.
I'm gonna say her name wrong because I want to say Biles, but that's the gymnast, and I know, so I know it's not that.
It was Amanda Knox.
Yeah,
Okay.
So there's a documentary. I can't even begin to remember which streaming service it was, but
I know there's one on Netflix.
basically it's Netflix.
I know there's one on Netflix.
Oh, then that's probably it. And it's basically her redemption story of her
Hmm.
talking about how she went to
Yeah,
jail
yeah,
and
that's it.
spent time in prison, and that she, even though she's been released and she's done her time, she's fighting to get the charge
Drop.
reversed,
Oh, okay.
and she holds animosity to the judge who convicted her, or the prosecutor, not the judge, the prosecutor who continues to share the or to share
Right.
the
Yeah,
story that they feel like
that
she's
it was hard.
guilty.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she's goes through providing evidence, and like she is determined. And for me, I had mixed feelings about it because, one, I've been accused of something that I didn't do, which I did not spend time in prison for, but I did spend 5 days in jail. So
Mm.
I understand that part of it, but I also feel like she's like so obsessed with like trying to prove her innocence when you've already done the time. It's like, at what point do you just not move on? And like she goes back to
Mm-hmm.
Italy, she gets the prosecutor to come talk to her, and she's having these like mixed signals. Like part of him is like, yeah, maybe, whatever, you didn't do it, but then another part of him is like, you
You
know,
involved.
yeah, and for
Mm-hmm.
me, it was just like mixed feelings because part of me wanted to be like, yeah, I get it. When you're accused of something that you didn't do, you want to, prove your innocence, but you've already done the time. You're in America. You have a family now. You have a husband and a baby, and pregnant with another baby. And it's like, at what point do you not just say the past is the past, leave that shit in Italy?
I
So, I mean,
feel
but I also, it was highly publicized, so I also understand, like, in
yeah,
the public eye.
she's guilty.
Yeah.
Guilty.
So, I get it and I don't get it.
And I think that's where I understand her need to be exonerated, because the whole story is well known of her being accused and tried and convicted and all of that, all the time she lost is whatever. But the fact that you come back later and go, oh, it was someone else. Oh, my bad. Okay, sorry. Go ahead, girl. You can go home. I mean, I get why she would be obsessed with getting her name exonerated, because
Mm-hmm.
there is not as much energy about the fact that they pointed their finger at somebody else, right? Like and I guess it's equivalent to all of the people who are on death row or wrongfully imprisoned, and then fight to get out. They get out, and it's with no fanfare. There's no media swarm to see them being released for the heinous crime they were accused of, convicted of, served time for. There's nobody there to document that. Um, guess what? It wasn't them. It was somebody else, and they
Mm.
lost their lost. basically lost their, life, right? Like, I mean, granted, they're living, but they lost time, they lost life. So I get it from that perspective. I mean, I don't disagree that you should just go on ahead and move on and live
I
your
mean,
life
what do you fight
and
your
whatever.
freedom for? You know what I'm saying? Like if I get it to the point where I feel like she's probably mentally still imprisoned because
Hmm.
it's such a harsh crime and a
Right.
harsh, reputation, and people still see her and think of her as this murderer. I get it. But also, you're trying to change the mind of the prosecutor. Her biggest shtick was that, he still thinks she's guilty. Who cares?
Mhm.
You know you didn't do it. You're free. I mean, and I also understand her feeling the need to be like, you never even investigated anybody else. Like I was just the prime
Scapegoat.
suspect and you just took me, ruined my life. And I'm like, yeah, I get that, but at the same time, you met your husband, you're in love, and you're building a family, and like what what type of future do you have if it's always going to be spent on your redemption
Mhm.
story? When your
Yeah,
redemption story is your new family and your new life, and I don't know.
I
It
don't.
like I
I don't.
said, mixed feelings.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and I don't. And I don't know that we'll ever be able to make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? Because I think it's
Right.
easy. And Carrie, of the three of us, based on what you shared, you're probably closest to understanding it. But I think
Mhm.
we'll never fully understand what it's like to have lived that life. And she wasn't imprisoned in the U.S. She was imprisoned in another country. And anything
Right.
Mhm.
I've ever seen about being imprisoned in another country is, for as much as we may not like incarceration here in the U.S., it ain't pleasant anywhere. I
It
mean,
is
it's
not.
worse.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
worse in some of these foreign countries. So there is no telling the full on mental trauma she experienced had she been guilty or not, right? Like the mental
Right.
trauma she experienced being imprisoned in another country.
And
And
being an
then,
American
right, being
for
American,
murder.
and then you find out that they finally realized it wasn't you, and they're just, like I said, they just open the door, go, all right, girl, go on ahead, you go home now. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I can tell you, being
Crazy.
accused of something that you didn't do. Now, it's been 20 years for me. So, clearly I have a lot of time. I've had a lot of time to move on. There
Mm-hmm.
was a
Mhm.
time that I was a little bit obsessed with being angry, being hurt, being vengeful. Like, I wrote a letter to the detective that questioned me in the crime that I was the victim of.
Mm.
And reading the police report, it said that I admitted to being at the scene of the crime but denied any involvement. No, I was in court the day that it happened, getting a restraining order against my abusive husband. I couldn't have been there, but they never took the time to really put the facts together. It wasn't a murder investigation, so they didn't care. It was a theft crime.
Right.
But I can tell you, I understand her need for redemption. I understand her anger towards the people who did not investigate properly and did not take the time and initiative to fully discredit. Like, you just, as a person who knows you're innocent, you just assume that they're going to uncover the truth
Mm-hmm.
and be able to prosecute appropriately.
Right.
I
Right.
can tell you, in my case, I had a public defender. And if it wasn't for me doing my own investigation, because ironically, at the time that this happened, I was going to school to be a lawyer. So I'd been to tort class, I'd been to, law 101, like I'd been to the basic legal, which I wished I would have thought about when I was being questioned to just keep my mouth shut, which
Mm-hmm.
now I enforce
Mm-hmm.
because anything you say will
Can't
be used against
doing
you.
it.
I
That's right.
am
In
living
court
proof.
of law.
But
Mhm.
I was able to guide the public defender to proving my innocence, and even through all of that, the judge did a null pros, which means we're not saying you're guilty, we're not really saying you're innocent, we're saying we don't have enough evidence to prosecute right now, and that this case can be opened up at any given time, which obviously the statute of limitations is gone with that because I didn't do it, but it they basically are saying if anything, any evidence or anything comes about we can still prosecute you for this crime, which sucks because now
Mm.
you live in limbo. And the thing
Anxiety.
that really
Yeah.
hurt my case was that the reason why they were able to arrest me is that they had an eyewitness that said they saw me at the scene of the crime. So they were 100% sure that I had to have done it.
Oh wow.
I was the one that had to go and prove that the person who actually did do it, who was also arrested at the same time that I was across the hall, had to prove that your statement says there was one female and two males. Why were two females arrested? So their
One
return was that I had, what was that?
You said one female and two males, and they arrested two
Yes.
females.
Yeah.
Well, they
Hmm.
arrested the female and the two males, but then they also arrested me, which made me the second female. But they said because I lived in the apartment, the dwelling, that I had to have provided access, so that they were basically saying, well, now that we know that you didn't actually do it because you were in, at somewhere else, and I could prove I provided documentation to prove I wasn't there. Now they're saying that I had to be an accomplice. And I'm like, they stole my stuff too. Now they're
Yeah.
saying, well, then you came and you made them get your stuff and you got the stuff from them. And I was just like, I
Oh,
was in
Lord.
I was in a domestic violence shelter. Where was I going to put this shit? They're like, you
Right.
could have got a storage unit. And I'm like, coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Wow.
Could you please provide me with documentation to prove that's what actually happened? So I can say, being accused of a crime that you did not do, it is, and mine was super, like, I don't want to say it was like, it's not a heavy crime. Like, it was theft.
Right.
And really what made it so pressing was that the roommate that I had Rent-A-Center furniture. And so Rent-A-Center was the one that was actually pressing charges.
Oh,
And
wow.
Rent-A-Center was putting the pressure to, secure and arrest
Mhm.
the people that were involved in this because they took the Rent-A-Center furniture. And I'm like, where did I put the Rent-A-Center furniture? I live in a domestic violence shelter. In fact, I only got arrested because they came to the shelter. They do not let you in. Male police officers, any male, they do not let you in. And I said, I have a job interview to go to because I'm trying to rebuild my life. And I
Mhm.
was like, I know I'm innocent, so I'm just going to walk outside, much to my demise, because he then followed me, picked me up, and proceeded to leave me in the questioning room, a small box the size of, I don't know, it was like 3 by 3 feet or 4 by 4 feet. It's like a very small space, and left me there for 4 hours to watch the cameras and see. And I was in there crying because I'm like, my life is over.
Traumatizing.
Yeah. So I understand to
Mhm.
some degree, but I've also gotten over it. You know what I mean? Like 20 years later, I learned from it. I learned that you don't freaking talk to the police. Anything you say will be used against you. But I also know that I fought for my own freedom because the public defender was like, just making it like, just agree. Like they were a plea deal. Plea to what? So, and it also helps me when I watch stuff like First 48 or like law shows like Law and Order or whatever, when they're like trying to give them plea deals. I definitely be like, don't take it.
That's
Don't
right.
take that plea deal
Mhm.
because that's, you're basically saying I did it. So, anyways,
You're guilty. Yeah. Mm.
thank you for I've been accused of a crime I didn't do rant.
No problem.
All right. Well,
What you got, Desiree?
You want to wrap up?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Or
Desiree's like,
if you want to
we
throw
can wrap up. Yeah.
she wants to go watch her animation anime. The new word. That's the new word of the day.
anime,
Yep.
shmanime.
Anime.
Thank you for watching Sci-Fi. We see Whitney. You know who's not in here? Zany.
Bum bum
Ooh.
bum.
We need an APB on Zany.
We need a smacking
I'm about to
pad
text.
for the
I'm
people
about to
who
text
are not
Zany
present.
right now.
Okay, wait, no. Do that after our pink box. After this.
There you go.
Yeah, that.
That's right. I will do
Do
it after this. Make sure you tune in on Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our weekly episodes of BoobTube, except next week and the week after, because we will be at Exotica Chicago, which we'll tell you about in just a moment. But keep it locked on Wednesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can watch us on EXXXOTICA.tv or on YouTube and Twitter. And make sure you're commenting in our live stream. We love sharing your comments. But buckle up, get your tickets, and escape your reality because next week April 10th to the 12th will be in Chicago, Illinois. June 26th to the 28th will be in Minneapolis, Minnesota. October 23rd to the 25th will be in Edison, New Jersey, and December 4th through the 6th will be in Miami, Florida. Make sure you sign up for your Ladies Free Friday tickets. That's for the ladies, of course. You can go to EXXXOTICA.tv. Click on Ladies Free Friday. Sign up for those tickets. And if you're looking to be a vendor or an exhibitor, you have a product, service, or something you want to sell at Exotica, you can request a sales kit and get your booth. Get all 4 shows, which it's kind of late for Chicago, but maybe you can slide in. But you definitely want to be at the other 3. So, Exotica, save the dates, buy your tickets, go VIP.
Woo, woo.
And once again, the reminder of the pink boxes that 4 months later.
Well, 3 full months. This is the start
3
of
full
the
months.
4th
Yeah,
month.
this is the start of the 4th month.
We'll
Yeah.
get there. We'll get there.
Yeah.
Follow us on our socials.
And at the end of the month, it's our special.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. So we have what was the other episode? We were going to do something, and then the 29th, we were going to do the anniversary episode. What was?
Yeah.
I
Like
wrote
a
it.
wrap
Oh,
up,
I think
like
we
a
were going to
year
do
in
our
year-
favorite.
No, not when we can do years, because we've been doing this for years now.
Forget.
I
The
know.
one
Tube
before the
wrap
end
up.
of the month was specific. You're right, Karen. I can't.
It was a theme that I don't remember.
Yep, I sure did think I wrote
I
it
think
down.
it was we were going to do the best and the worst of BoobTube or something.
Did I put it in the phone?
Or was it? I don't know. I don't remember.
There's the
If you guys
22nd
remember.
and the 29th. Yeah.
It's what?
There's the 22nd and the 29th is last week. Yeah.
I can't think of what we said we were gonna do.
We said we were going to do something. So we mentioned it before we mentioned the anniversary show. And then we were like, we're going to do it separately. We're going to do something on the 22nd.
We'll sort it out. I'll watch the last episode and see what we were
I was going to say, because I know for sure the 29th was going to be our anniversary episode, but we said the one before that was going to be something.
Okay.
We need an assistant.
Desiree, that's your assignment. Let us know.
Somebody that's going to make us update our boxes. Someone that's going to, keep us on point, because the 22nd is going to come and we're going to just be like, we were supposed to be doing something.
Yeah. So that what that means, Des, is you got to figure that out, and you got to tell us sooner rather than later, because by the time we come back, it'll be the 22nd.
Yeah. So what I can do is I'll look like next week or like during the week while you guys are gone. I'll figure it out and then I'll message it in the group chat.
Awesome.
Sounds like a plan.
I got your back like a butt crack. Don't worry.
Woo! Yes.
Okay, that was
I love
anime
that.
Schmanime. Okay.
That's a good saying. I think I'm gonna put that on a shirt. I got your back like a butt crack.
Do it.
I love that.
With that being said, we want to thank everyone for watching, whether you're watching live or the BoobTube replay. Thank you so much. Make sure you follow, like, share, comment, and subscribe. We really appreciate it. And we will see you guys in a couple of weeks with, I know what it was. It was the post-Chicago wrap-up.
Yeah.
There you go.
See, Desiree, I just saved you several hours of trying to figure out what it was. It's the 22nd.
I'm gonna write that down.
We'll return with our Exotica Chicago post-show wrap-up and tell you what we experienced, how it went, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And then the 29th, we will be having our 6-year BoobTube anniversary episode, a special episode where we be talking about the worst, the best, and the indifferent of boob of the past. What I would like to do is give you guys a task to go and watch our older episodes and find some things that you want to talk about. We want you to be a part of the show, and we're going to read your comments and share and comment. So that is your task. And with that being said,
the assignment.
You understand the assignment. Go back and watch our past episodes. There's a lot. There's over 200. There's a lot. But go back, watch, listen, and come back with questions, comments, and suggestions. And we're going to go over the best and worst of 2020 to 2026. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks, the 22nd. So keep it locked and loaded. Until next time, back to you, Casey.
Peace out, y'all.
Peace.